Now we want to bring on Jordan Yuodis, who is with the Anchorage Middletown Fire and EMS. Talk about this wildfire threat that we're seeing now, Jordan, and even a fire warning in our area. Let's start with that one, Doug. It's happening, you said Natural Bridge, Kentucky, and it's grown. 5 acres yesterday, 100 acres today.
We've never seen fire weather warnings and watches, but they are now out for us.
It just goes to show you how quick a grill and a dry piece of grass. The biggest thing we see this time of year is flicking cigarette butts out windows. Those cause more fires than any type of outside fire that we respond to.
I want you to look at the monitor. I recorded this on the way to work, spring break week. I was coming down I-64 into the city, and one patch after another was on fire, but there was a separation in between, Jordan.
Yep.
They weren't connected. I had no idea how this started, but it was like, that's I-64. We were surrounded by smoke.
Right, so when you see a wildfire like that, oftentimes they skip, they hop. So on a windy day like this, that's why we're telling folks no recreational burning whatsoever, because the fire can literally hop from one island to the next, being blown by the wind. So it's something that happens very quick. People don't expect it, but the next thing you know, we've got a yard on fire that's then attached to a barn. The next thing you know, we've got a structure on fire, and it's just a bad day. So today, tomorrow, please refrain from any recreational burning.
So you say today and tomorrow, and of course that it would not be Saturday. We have the huge Thunder over Louisville fireworks show. You're not worried about that?
No, we're not worried about that, but people can get confused because it's supposed to rain pretty heavy tomorrow night or Friday. But that's not our concern. Our concern is today and tomorrow. I know people may be confused because we've had rain earlier this week and the ground may seem damp, but in fact, with the humidity that we're having, and Ben can speak on that more than I can, but the humidity and the wind, it's a recipe for disaster.
Well, to that point, John Gordon of the National Weather Service said to us in an interview, the windiest winter and spring he's ever seen on record for this area. It has changed. We are getting more of these windy events. Have you all been noticing it in the amount of runs you've had to make?
Well, I think as things shift, we're seeing more storm-related stuff than we've ever seen in my career, for sure. In my lifetime living here. So we're starting to see more severe weather, which with the wind, like John said, and we've had more trees down and wires down in our area specifically than we've seen in decades.
What are some of your specific suggestions for people here in the next 2 days, just to make sure they don't accidentally start a fire? Obviously, bonfires, are grills a threat? What are your suggestions?
So I think the tricky thing is this time of year specifically, it's really nice outside. People want to go outside and enjoy a fire pit and things like that. But if we can just refrain from these 2 days from doing that, but oftentimes we see grills that are in yards, not speaking to the events with the weather, but grills on balconies, things of that nature. We just had a fire the other evening that a grill was on a balcony, which caused a fire. So anything that's related to outside in the yard, just refrain from doing that.
I saw it on 64, but you all have tested it, how fast things can take off when just one little spark, or maybe even that was a cigarette.
Yeah, you see those fires and you think, how did that start? And oftentimes, people don't think about it. It's very small. They're driving on the road, they flick their cigarette butt out the window, and they're gone. They're gone to their destination, and then 5 or 10 minutes later, somebody's driving down the road and calls and reports it in. But it's a safety issue for our responders being on the interstate, having to shut the interstate down. It's just a bad deal all around.
All right. I know you have been busy in the Anchorage Middletown district. Thanks for coming in today, Jordan.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Always good to see you.